Hey guys, welcome back. I'm at a good friend of mine's house. He's having some troubles with his baler yesterday. Had a bearing go out in the bottom of the door, and of course then it wrapped the belts around a couple of the rollers down in the front, and it ripped the belts in half or whatever. He had to cut them and get them out. But anyway, we just got that pretty well put back together, and I'm gonna drive out, take his little Kawasaki mule out, and we'll go kind of watch him bale for a little bit. You don't have to have new tractors to make nice bales. You don't even have to have a new baler. Take this one for example. I think this one's about 10 years old. It's a couple series older than the current new model, and it's still making very nice bales. Anyway, I just thought it'd be kind of nice, kind of neat to come show you guys some old tractors. I've known this guy for a lot of years since I was just a little guy. A slight chance of rain tonight and a better chance coming in a couple days. I don't know that, I mean, a pop-up shower is all that's coming tonight, and it might get us. It might not, I don't know. It's nice to get this hay put up before the rain get here. Jammers 7040 the 605M. Pretty nice combination. This guy's had Vermeer balers, I don't know, it seems like since the beginning of time. I think he told me he had maybe a C many years ago, probably 30 years ago, when he had the 605C or whatever the heck it was. I know he had a 605F, but his most recent one was a 605K. and I don't know how many bales was on it. Quite a few, maybe 15 or 20,000 bales through it. He had a bunch of work done to it, and he decided, you know what? I says, I'm old enough. I think maybe I just want to trade up, get something a little bit nicer. Something's got net wrap, whatever. So he traded in, got this one. It's, like I said, 10 years old. Has somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 or 12,000 bales through it when he got it. And like I said, it's doing a very nice job. Anyway, I've got to go visit my organic inspector this afternoon. He's finally showing up. And then I've got some custom baling to do, and I think he said there's like 5 acres. So basically just drive over, drive back. I mean, it's not gonna take long at all to get that done, but yeah. Anyway, we'll see. I might show some of that custom baling this afternoon. Probably not, but we'll see. Well, my inspector just called and said he's running about 45 minutes late. Said, man, if only you could have told me that 2 hours ago when I sent you the message saying, are you still going to be here at 4:30? So I said, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and go do that baling. It's only 5 acres, so we'll get him done. I guess if my inspector's sitting here waiting on me, well, sucks to be him. Oh, good enough. We'll get this little bit of baling done. So here we are. We got a little 3 acre piece here and a little 2 acre piece over that way that we already done did. I used to do this guy's hay every year, every cutting. I mean, I just do the baling. He'd go out and mow and rake it. But a couple of years ago, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, he came to me, he says, you know what? He says, you've done a heck of a good job for me, but I want twine on my bales. That way I don't have to fight that net wrap in the wintertime trying to get it off, blah, 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 whatever. I said, okay, that's fine. What are you going to do? Well, are you going to have net wrap? I said, no, I don't want anything to do with net wrap. It's an extra expense on the baler, and it takes twice as long to wrap. I said, no, I'm going to stick with net wrap. Okay. So he hired somebody else to do his baling for a few years. Well, last year, maybe I mentioned this on another video. Last year he came to me, he was buying some hay. He came to me and says, you know what? He says, I'm just gonna have you do my baling from now on because the other guy's doing a fine job. He says, I really want that net wrap back on there. It holds the bales together better. You make a heck of a nice goddamn bale. You can just have my baling again. Okay, sure. I'm only a mile and a half from him. If the weather's good, because we've got a dirt road between us. But, yeah. Picked up a new old customer. Anyway, he doesn't usually have a lot of hay to bale, and he doesn't have very many cows, maybe 10 or 12, 15 cows. But he's been buying hay from me already this summer to feed his calves. I said, man, when are you gonna put your hay up? I don't know, god dang, you're so busy, and if I could just get some time to get it cut and put up, could you bale it? Well, yeah, that's what we do. So we never had trouble getting it put up before. Just get her down, bud. So anyway, we're finally getting his hay put up. Baler's making nice bales. I need to put up some pictures for you guys. Whoop, gotta change here. That bale behind me is trying to roll. Okay, it stays put. Anyway, we were having some trouble getting the net wrap to the very outsides of the bale. It kept wanting to leave it in about 3 to 4 inches anyway. Here's some of my haystack, what I'm talking about. It's not pulling the net wrap all the way out to the side. It should be out there like that. And you saw that on that M from earlier, the neighbor with that Alice Chalmers tractor. His baler's putting it all the way out to the edge like it's supposed to, like mine's supposed to. So obviously these aren't a major problem like that other one is, but this is the problem I've been fighting for the last, I don't know, month or so. Is it's just not getting it all the way out to the sides, and it's not even the same on every bale. Some of them are pretty good on one side and not the other, or both sides, or they're perfect. So that's what we've been fighting. Now, back to the other video. And it wasn't enough that people were going to be really complaining, but with a brand new baler, this thing should not be causing me any troubles. So I'm going to put some pictures up. Let's put it right here. Okay, that was what it started doing yesterday. I was on a big custom job, and it started going really bad. It was like a foot worth of net wrap that was knocked to the very outsides, and it wasn't always one side or the other or both. It was just kind of random. Sometimes it'd make a nice bale, sometimes it'd fucking do that shit. And it was yesterday. It was really fucking bad. So I was on the phone again with the dealer we bought it from, and he knew it was a problem because we've been trying to figure it out for the last, I don't know, month or so. And we kept tightening up this brake. I'll show you a picture of it right there. The net wrap brake. Basically that stops the roll from spinning as you shut the net wrap off. It kind of stops it. And it's supposed to also put a little bit of tension on the net as you're applying it to the bale. Anyway, we thought, well, at least he says keep tightening that thing up until basically it breaks it or will not allow it to put net on, then back it off just a little bit, and that should be about right. So I'd switched to this other brand of net wrap, and it wasn't one wrap or the other that was causing the problem. It was just the baler was just doing it. Well, yesterday it started really acting up, and like I said, it was about a foot in on both sides. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, dude, I can't be doing this shit. So in the process of talking to him and another dealer, you know, we kept screwing with that brake and kept messing with different things, and it just wasn't, you know, wasn't producing the effect that we wanted. It wasn't getting the net wrap out like we wanted to. So between phone calls, I was back there messing with the baler, you know, and there's another little bolt right there. And what that guy does is it gaps the brake away from the net wrap wheel just a tiny little bit as it's applying. So you don't want the brake, basically, you don't want the brake slowing it down while it's applying net. You want it to come on after the net's basically done, and it stops the roll from overspinning, leaving you a big mess of shit back there. So anyway, I thought to myself that I wonder if it's just dragging. The brake's dragging too much. Let me tighten that bolt up. And I only turned it in a half of a turn, and I had already loosened the brake off about 3 revolutions, 3 full turns. Anyway, I turned that little bolt a half of a turn in, and I had switched back to my original. I had a little bit of a roll of Vermeer net. I switched back to that stuff, and immediately we had perfect bales. Look at that. Perfect bales. And all it was that little, stupid little bolt. Anyway, so we made 65 bales yesterday on that guy, and the first 20 of those were fucked up, and he was out there, his wife was out there, and they saw that, you know, I was making an attempt to fix the fucking problem, and it finally, you know, came through for me. But I don't know what it is, but I still got the dealer on the horn. Basically, they said there's some updates to this thing, that there's some changes or whatever for that little arm. Well, it's a fucking brand new baler. I wouldn't think there'd be an update already, but whatever. So they're going to check that out, and if anybody else has this problem, you need to have someone in the cab. What they need to do, whoever you got in the cab, don't have the baler running. You don't even need the tractor running for that matter. You turn your monitor on, and you need to be back there at the baler watching it as the person in the cab, as they poke the net start button, which is that guy right there. You need to watch that little brake disc back there. Get my hand out of the way. All right. And as the net engages, it goes into net full apply, whatever. As it's supposed to be spinning, it won't be because you don't have the baler running. But as it gets to that full position, you should have I think they said it was a 1/16 of an inch, just a tiny little gap, you know, between that brake disc and that wheel. Anyway, so I checked it this morning with the wife. She came out and poked the button for me, and sure enough, currently I have about a 1/16 of an inch. I don't know what it was before. And I did not try putting the white net wrap back in, the other aftermarket stuff, because, you know, right now she's working. I want to finish up my Vermeer stuff because I've got just a little bit left. And then we'll go back to that other shit, that other aftermarket stuff. And I don't think it's shit. It's just different stuff. It seemed to be doing fine, you know, as far as strength and quality wise. But anyway, yeah, check that and make sure your brake is just a tiny little bit, 1/16 of an inch or so is what they say, and is away from your big brake wheel as it's spinning. You know, should be spinning. But all right, well, I've gapped enough. I've got about an hour or so before my inspector gets here, and then we'll be back for him, because this is all I've got here. It's another row and a half of windrows. So everything went good with the inspection, and we did get some rain. Ended up between that night and the Tuesday before that we had a little bit of rain. We've gotten just a little over 2 inches of rain, 2 1/4 or something like that. So I'm glad we got everything baled. I'm glad we got something finally figured out with this stupid net wrap. See, we've got some of this aftermarket stuff, and this is called Big Tex. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It seems to be doing just as good a job as the Vermeer stuff does, as far as, you know, strength of the net wrap and so on. But now that we got it pulling both directions like it's supposed to, like I said, I think it was just that little bolt that was giving us the trouble, that little guy right there. Once we finally adjusted that guy out, you know, that one seemed to be giving me the stretchiness, we'll call it. The full coverage is what we were needing. As soon as I adjusted that little guy, the net wrap went to both sides. And you can kind of see in here, according to the book, we're supposed to have net wrap like this, or maybe just a little bit more coverage back on the pan. So you've got a blank spot here. We've got some net wrap over here. Blank spot, net wrap, blank spot, net wrap. So that's kind of what they're wanting you to see in the book, as far as net wrap being on the pan. Me personally, I'd like to see a little bit more there on the pan, but I haven't done anything to it, and you saw what the bales look like when we were applying for the neighbor. It's doing a beautiful job currently, so I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to loosen the brake up anymore, because it's doing a good job, like I said. Anyway, so the inspection went beautiful. Nothing wrong there. No red flags, nothing non-compliance. We've just got to wait for the actual inspector to get all my paperwork turned in now, and get my certificate and addendum back, so we can get those dispersed to the elevators and crop insurance, FSA, and all them. Everybody that needs it's got to get a copy of it. And then we can start, you know, getting stuff harvested and get everything sold. So anyway, I think we'll call this video wrapped. It's getting pretty lengthy, but I thought everybody would like to see kind of what we did to the baler. There's the combine. Anyway, thank you guys for coming along. If you've got any questions, certainly hit me up on the baler, and I'll try to do what I can to help you. I know I've certainly had some struggles with this one, but haven't heard anything back either. I'm not sure what my dealer's doing. I need to get a hold of him here in a minute and see what's going on, if there really isn't a update or not. So anyway, you guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button again, like I said, and give me a thumbs up. Good questions, comments, hit me up down below. Until next time, catch you later.